Is that going to be in your favour?
Well, it was a regional event before, which has turned to a total international national event now. We've done it quite often, and I've done the event locally, Western Province Championship, and I've won it quite a few times. But like this year, I think they're using a lot of the roads that we used a few years ago on the engine rally.
Once again, you two guys.
One by one, the cars leave the starting ramp at the N1 City Complex en route to Stage 1 at the Killarney racetrack. Being an all-tar stage, the cars are donned with slick racing tyres and the navigator becomes ballast as the drivers push themselves and the cars to their limits. Jan Habich and Douglas Judd failed to produce the expected spark from the new Golf in Natal. The crew spent the entire event shaking the car down and sorting out problems. On the second of their 4 laps, Jan Habich over-revved the Golf and the VW motor let go in a big way, spewing oil and coolant through the side of the engine block. The Stanbrick Volkswagen effectively hands in its notice, having barely started the event. The cars start the stage in 1-minute intervals, and on his second lap, Hannes finds Brady Dabner starting the stage right on his tail. Both drivers would have been told of the Golf's demise, so will be watching their rev counters, intent on preserving their own motors. Hannes completes the 4 laps in a time of 5 minutes and 23 seconds, a full 8 seconds faster than Dabner and Hodgson. Serge and Vito enter the stage, aware of the Golf's drama and the time set by the bank for Nissan. With many years of track racing experience under his belt, Serge powers the Toyota dealer team Conquest through the stage in a winning time of 5 minutes and 19 seconds. As the cars enter stage 2, a tar and dirt stage at the Wingfield base in Goodwood, Hannes and Pierre find themselves leading the field. Behind them, a very determined Brady Dabner seems set to give Hannes a full run for his money. The 2 Bankfin cars prepare for a fight for second place as Serge and Vito, already 5 seconds ahead on the scoreboard after stage 1, enter the stage and add another 3 seconds to their lead. Having failed to finish the Tour de Total rally, Glenn Durman and Dave Levkowitz have a point to prove over their fellow Class C competition, Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley. Etienne nursed the 2-wheel drive Conquest through the final stages of the Tour ahead of a charge by Trevor Graham and Peter Chadwick. The crew won their class in Natal, but intend to finish this event under full power. Having won Class B in Natal, Paola Piazzamusso and Cindy Harding have started this event as odds-on favourites for their class in the turbo-powered Uno. Making a welcome return to the rally scene as a driver is off-roader Wiley Harrington, competing in a Class A Conquest together with Nick Haddon. From Cape Town itself, a long open section transports the cars to stage 3, a tight dirt section on the old Helshoogte Pass, which now forms part of the Forest Road network in the plantations outside Stellenbosch.
130, turn off, reverse fork right, rough in bend. Turn off, reverse fork right, rough in bend. 150, sweep left, keep right. Sweep left, keep right, 50 meters, sweep left, keep right. 250, turn off, fork right.
In car with Hannes and Pierre, one can see just how tight the stage actually is.
Turn off, fork right, blind down. Turn off, fork right, blind down.
The route schedule warns the crews of the steep drop-offs that spell disaster for any car that leaves the road. The route schedule has a full 10 pages of instructions for the 10-kilometre stage, leaving the navigators very little room for errors. One wrong instruction and the crew could find themselves at the bottom of the gorge.
T90 right. Into caution, 100 reverse fork left. Big drop, soft and sandy. Reverse fork left. Big drop, soft and sandy. 300, tight 90 right, very narrow with drops on both sides. 200, tight 90 right, very narrow with drops on both sides. 100.
Behind the Nissan, Brady Dabner's Toyota is visibly slower. Expecting damp roads in the forest, the crew had made the wrong tyre choice and were paying the price for their mistake. Hannes and Pierre make good time in the stage, but lose a few seconds when Hannes taps off early, the crew having mistaken a warning board for the flying finish.
That's a flying finish. Was daar vlag op die, was daar vlag op die eerste bord?
Dabner and Hodgson lose a full minute to the Nissan, easing the pressure on Hannes and Pierre, who themselves lose 10 seconds to Surgeon Vito, who posted a winning time of 10 minutes and 36 seconds. This stretches their lead to 19 seconds after 3 stages. The Class C contest between Derman and Lawrence extends into stage 3, although Derman and Levkovitz lag by 12 seconds to Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley. In their effort, Lawrence and Paisley complete the stage 8 seconds quicker than the Class A car of Brady Dabner. A good effort in a two-wheel drive 1.6-litre car. The scoreboard at the end of the stage tells the story, giving both Serge and Etienne a good lead in their respective classes. At the service area after stage 3, Hannes and Pierre prepare the Nissan for stage 4, determined to take Serge on and retrieve some of the time lost to the Toyota. The Bankman Toyota swapped the hard rubber for something softer before entering stage 4. The crews prepare the cars for the twilight stages. A long 70-kilometre open section separates stages 4 and 5. A mistake in stage 4 cost Surgeon Vito nearly half a minute, giving Hannes and Pierre a slim 3-second lead overall, with just 2 stages before the break. Back in the stages, the rally continues with the Class B leaders Paola Piazzamusso and Cindy Harding in the Uno Turbo. The Natal team of Trevor Graham and Peter Chadwick started the rally well, but were soon to retire the conquest without ever joining the Class C fray. The Harrington Class A conquest was scoring consistent times, moving slowly into the top 10 as others dropped out. Johan Clements and Brian Duncan also in a Class A two-wheel drive Toyota Conquest. Alan Mitrovic and Mike Burrows taking a more conservative approach to the tight and often dangerous conditions in the forest stages. Brian Martin and Barry White in the only Class B Toyota among a pack of Volkswagen Golfs and the BMW of Schumann and Dahl. Berto Morstedt and Mike Connolly going extremely well in their Class D Golf, their efforts having promoted them into the top 10 overall. Their closest competition was coming from Pierre Goosen and Ozzy de Jong, already a minute and a half behind the class leaders. 70 kilometers away, over the Hottentots Holland, the leaders had completed stage 5, the conquest now back in the lead by 17 seconds. The Ellsworth, the pass had taken its toll. While many just damaged their vehicles in the stage, those that did leave the road found themselves alone and a long way from help. Into stage 6 go the second-placed Bankman Nissen of Hannes Kobler and Pierre Aris. After their disastrous tyre choice in stage 3, Dabner and Hodgson were back in business on stages 4 and 5. Although they were continuously posting times slower than Hannes Kobler, the Bankman Toyota crew were desperate to stay within shot of the Nissan's valuable second place.
Stage 1 and 2 were good for us. Stage 3 we lost time with the wrong decision, because our tyre supply isn't that great, so we used wet tyres in the forest thinking that because of the rain that we've had it's going to be wet, and it turned out to be bone dry, so we lost virtually a minute. A lot of uphills and downhills, and the tyre just kept sort of spinning and couldn't get traction, so we lost a minute and that put us down. So the very next stage we put on the proper tyres that I've been trying to save, and we were back on the pace there. So that was our major problem. The 2 stages back, we had a problem with the tyre marshal on the start, and also we had an intercom go, and we had a puncture. So all that was in one stage, and that dropped us another 20-odd seconds. So let's hope those problems are past.
It was quite a tough afternoon. It wasn't very long, but the stages was very tight, and we did some new stages, interesting stages. And we're lying second at the moment. We were in a lead for a while, but we lost it to Serge on one of the last stages. But the rally are only going to start at 11 o'clock, and we're definitely going to chase and try and pull a win off.
So at the Hermanus regroup, the scoreboard sees Serge and Vito back in the lead by 23 seconds. Dabner and Hodgson hold third spot, 90 seconds behind the Nissan. The question is, can anyone slow the pace being set by the leaders Damso and Bonafide?
Well, the main aim was to be number 1 tonight, because I know in this area sometimes the dust can be very bad. And then the last 2 stages gave it a bit of a try to get in front again. And there's some long stages coming up now, 26, 30 Ks. Things might change again, but we never know. We'll see how it goes.
The Total Autumn Trial has traditionally been a night event. This year, despite being upgraded to national status, was to be no exception. With just 6 of the 17 stages completed, the bulk of the rally was to take place between midnight and dawn. The tunnel vision caused by the strong halogen lights gives the drivers a better target to concentrate on. The negative side effect is fatigue. Serge Damso enjoys the night stages and shows no signs of slowing his pace. In stage 8, the Nissan suffers handling problems and Hannes has the suspension checked. In stage 9, the front suspension on the Sentra gave way, causing the Nissan to dramatically retire from the rally. Hannes was able to keep the car under control and damage was minimal. This promoted Brady Dabner and Guy Hodgson to second overall and took the pressure off Serge and Vito. As the cars entered stage 10, the rally was effectively over and Serge slowed his pace to conserve the car and nurse it to the end. 5 minutes separated Serge and the second Toyota. Lawrence and Paisley were promoted to third overall, having lost their competition when Derman was excluded for arriving late at the start of stage 7. Stage 9 also saw problems for the Piazza Musso Cindy Harding Uno. A blown turbo cost the crew over 11 minutes in the stage, effectively forcing their retirement from the already depleted field. Dawn brought the spectators and surviving cars together at a river crossing on stage 15. Serge provided some entertainment as he powered the Conquest through the water splash. Dabner and Hodgson had survived the worst of the autumn trial and were obviously content to keep their pace slow in an effort to finish in a safe second place behind Serge and Vito. Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley had fought off problems during the night to survive into day 2 and keep their third position overall. This also kept Toyota in the top 3 places on the scoreboard. Berto Mostert and Mike Connolly currently 4th overall. Their Class D Golf was just over 2 minutes behind the Lawrence Toyota and they had pulled 7 minutes on the 5th place car. Class B was being fought out between Martin and White in the Toyota and Jacobus Skuman and Carl Dahl in the BMW. Only 3 seconds separate the 2 cars. Fifth overall and second in Class D, the Golf of Barry Gobelaar and Francois Pretorius. Marius Loubser and Eben Tiart taking a cautious line through the splash. Johan Clemens and Brian Duncan, the third Class A car on the road and currently 11th overall. Sergei Esterhuizen and Johan Barnard surviving the worst of it in their Class C Golf. Stage 16 passed without incident, and the cars arrived at Killarney for the final stage of the rally, a 4-lap sprint in a reverse direction around the track. Serge knows as he starts the stage that his trust must now be in the car. Dabner enters the stage. The Conquest sounds and performs as if this was the first stage of the event. The motor not missing a beat as Serge pushes the car to its limit. Serge Vito and the Conquest pull into the final marshal point. A victory once again for the Toyota dealer team.
Serge, another win. Congratulations. But also, more importantly, probably another 25 points towards your championship.
Yes, the points is always welcome to the championship scene. We always have a good start, so just hope we can keep it going until after the Castrol. But actually very sorry about Hannes falling out, and it's bad luck to him, but that's the way the rallying goes about.
Serge, I think what's also must be very pleasing for you as a Toyota driver is to see Toyotas lined up here 1, 2, and 3.
I'm sure Toyota must be very happy. Seen first, first, second, and third. It's always good for the manufacturer to see their cars come in, and I'm sure they're very happy about it.
The final results and a solid effort by the first 3 teams. A great rally for Mostert and Connolly, keeping 4th overall and winning Class D unchallenged. Loubser and Tiart took Class B in the BMW by just 7 seconds. The Total Autumn Trial was brought to you by Total South Africa.